All right, here we come again. I can't not say that. I have to say that every time. Here we are. It's episode 18 of the Infinite Quality podcast. If you guys are joining us for the first time, or this is your first episode listening to the Infinite Quality podcast, I am the Sunny Machine. I'm joined by Snazzy. Say hi, Snazzy. Snazzy
Hello.
Hi, Liam Pickles.
Hello.
And Eat Your Meats.
Hello.
We've got this podcast is just about streaming in general. We have a community called Infinite Quality. It's a community of Twitch affiliates that all kind of work together, talk to each other, help each other out, troubleshoot, fix things when they go wrong on our streams, check out new technology, new bots, equipment, things like that. So if you feel like you need help with your stream and you're a Twitch affiliate and you would like to join our community, visit infinitequality.live. This podcast, we put it together so that we could have discussions about different topics, bring on guests once in a while to try and figure out new and interesting things about streaming. Streaming is like not a set thing. I don't think it's set. There's always new people doing like things that when you see it, you're like, I could have done that. I should have done that. Why didn't I do that? So that's how new streaming is we all just like, we don't really know everything we should do or everything that works. So today's going to be less of a discussion about like, we don't really have an expert on this. And I don't think there should really be necessarily an expert on this topic. I think this is where a lot of other stream communities and coaches and that kind of the toxic side of streaming, the streaming business falls. This is where a lot of people will fall prey to like tactics, and so today's topic is about streaming and the quality, the effect of streaming in general on viewers, whether or not what is your stream doing to someone who visits your stream? Are they attaching themselves? We kind of talk about this in the terms of stickiness. Are the viewers sticking to your stream, or is your stream slippery? Are viewers just kind of like popping in and then not sticking around, not chatting, not following, not subbing, not being engaged with your stream at all? How is it working for you? And so I think we need to kind of like dive in and just have a general discussion about things that do work and things that obviously don't work. I think it's probably going to be easier to point to things that streamers do that are an instant turnoff. And a lot of these things are fixable. They're like small things. And I think it's going to be much harder to figure. It's so much harder to figure out stickiness. So maybe we'll talk about that first. Snazzy, will you give us a rundown of what you think? Yeah, I'm giving you the ball. What do you think? Define stickiness for us, and what is it to you, and what are some aspects of stickiness for a streamer?
I think baseline is just I know the term viewer retention is a bit clinical. It's a bit like sterile, but like that's really what it is. Is are you doing something that when somebody clicks on your stream, that if they are enjoying themselves, that they look at you and go, hey, you know what? I'm going to watch that person again. Right? What are you doing anything to give somebody an incentive to come back and watch you, possibly when you're doing a different game, or when you're doing something completely different? Like, for example, for me, for Gunpla, right? What incentive do I give people to watch me scratch plastic for 4 hours, right?
Scratch plastic.
I think stickiness is really just, it's hard to define, but you know it when you see it. Like, like I'm sure everyone's had that. Like when you go into a stream and like let's say for example, think back like one of your favorite streamers, right? Pick whoever you really like at the time, right? What was it that first drew you when you went into their stream, right? Some people just have a magnetic personality, and that's what sticks you there. Other people have a nice presentation. Some people have good emotes. There's I don't think there's any one thing you can point to that'd be like, oh, hey, this is the winning formula. I think it's just it does depend a lot on what's going on at the time, right? Maybe the game you were playing was really entertaining and you found a bunch of people through that. I mean, I know, like, for example, Meats has been meeting a lot of people in Dark Souls 2 because for some reason Dark Souls 2 fans are crazy and still invade
So
people.
true.
But yeah, so it's hard to define it because it's very what's the word? I guess it's fluid. Like what causes people to stick to you literally changes from moment to moment.
True. Did you guys have anything to add to that, Pickles?
No, I think he pretty much nailed it on the head. There are a million different reasons why somebody would want to hang out with you because everybody has different preferences and what they're looking for in a stream or even just like a person to hang out with. So
Yeah. True.
There's a lot of things that could make somebody stick around or not.
Meats?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's also a couple different kinds of stickiness, and Snazzy sort of mentioned it too. There's people that will, if you are playing an XYZ game, they're going to come and watch you play that game. And then there's people that will come and watch you watch paint dry, right? And those are potentially two quite different people, but I think it's important to consider both of those opportunities, right? Because you can convert, I'll watch this person preferentially play this game, to someone who will watch paint dry with you.
Yeah. I think there's this is why this is not a cut and dry topic, because my first thought, Snazzy, when you said when people first come to your stream, why do they engage with it, or what about it do you like? Sometimes I find a stream that instantly impresses me, but doesn't actually like hook me long term. Right? And this may be a me
that
thing.
Happens, yeah.
Like,
no, I think that happens to everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfectly valid. Like, I've definitely had I've literally had streams where I've gone on a raid with somebody to a stream, enjoyed the said stream, but then at the end of it I was like, yeah, I'm not just didn't hit the follow button. Didn't never saw that person again. I enjoyed that moment.
Yeah,
that happened, but I wasn't necessarily about to devote more time to it than that, right? And it's not, it was nothing against the streamer or anything. It just wasn't. They weren't the kind of streamer that I was interested in watching at the time, right? So
yeah.
I don't think it's just a you thing.
I think some streamers do things that are entertaining for like 30 minutes, and then after a while you're like, this is exhausting. I don't know if I can sit and watch this again. This was fun for like a little bit, and now
I think actually viewer fatigue, especially if you're one of those like I don't want to say loud streamers. Like if you're one of those streamers who hypes things, right? You're one of the hype streamers, right? Anything you do is like the crazy thing. Like you play high octane games and you shout a lot and there's fireworks all over the place and whatever, right? Like after a while, the brain gets tired of that unless you're the sort of person that can watch that kind of stuff for hours and not get fatigued.
Yeah.
Personally, I think like if somebody is too like hype for too long, I just get tired. I can't keep up.
I'm already tired with you talking about it.
I know, right?
I don't have the energy for that at all. Yeah. I don't know how they do it. It's like, energy drinks all day, I guess. I just like 2 cups of coffee, like barely gets me through my existence.
Monster, I guess. I don't know.
So the biggest concern I have is that it's easy to kind of confuse things that are like a good hook for the moment with viewer retention, like a proper transition into your community. I think some of the mistakes I've made, at least personally, and I've seen other streamers make, is you have this tendency to want to make a moment like fun for your viewers, or like have a joke, or like have that hype energy, but long term what you're looking at is not viable. I'm just gotta get rid of this game for some reason. The Neo Geo is freaking out. So you have this tendency to want to have every moment be like a thing that draws viewers in, and those things can make your stream like a bait and switch, right? Because there's no like long-term substance for people to connect to. I think there's a huge difference between like being impressed by a streamer like doing a fun thing or having a thing. It's like the raid video response thing. Like it feels like it's the right idea. It feels like it's a smart decision, but it doesn't give you like a lasting longevity attachment to the streamer to watch like a compilation of their best moments. There needs to be like, I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys think there needs to be like some kind of thing that helps you latch on to a stream long term? And what are those things? What does that look like?
I think it's different from person to person. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Meets.
It's so different from person to person, though. That's the thing. So, like, I feel like you said at the beginning, it's a lot easier to talk about things that, in general, people aren't going to like.
Yeah, this is the hard topic.
Yeah, but you have to... So there's a couple easy things that will maybe get people to click, right? And we've talked about a lot of those things, like the networking aspect, right? Getting basically butts in the seats. That's your first step to stickiness. I think having a clickable thumbnail is really helpful. And I think those are the first parts of just getting eyeballs on your stream. But then, yeah, I think having a reliable, consistent, and just genuine presence is going to be the most important thing, because you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. You know, you might be someone who they don't like your voice, or, you know, they don't like, I don't know, the games you play or whatever, but
yeah, it's impossible for everyone to like you.
Exactly.
That's a hard thing, I think, for most. Is that hard for you guys? Like, do you want everyone to like you?
Oh no! Please.
No, you don't. Okay, there
are
are streamers.
There are people who I know like have come by my stream, and I'm like, I'm 100% okay if they never come back again, because I know they're not gonna like me when they get to know me better. It's just sometimes right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just meet, like, sometimes you just go into a stream, you just go, I'm not gonna like this streamer for more than like 5 minutes at a time. It just happens. You're not everyone's cup of tea, right? And then and the sooner you accept that, the better off you'll be.
And sometimes there's nothing really you can do about that, you know. So I think it might even be more beneficial to talk about some of the things that, you know, just in general turn most people off.
We'll get there. We will get there. We are going to talk about
anything more.
We'll get there.
Well, I mean, I think we can break this down a little bit more. Like, people who come into your stream and they are impressed by a thing that you do. Well, one of the mistakes I think a lot of newer streamers make is that they feel like the thing that made someone happy is the thing that's going to make everyone happy. So how do you differentiate between, like, I don't care if everyone is there, and I still care if my stream grows? There's like a weird way. You have to try to balance this, right? Like, how do you balance the idea that you don't care and you do care? Like, you do still at the same time you care whether or not people like your stream, right? So, like, how do you execute your stream in a way that helps people like it but still not care about everyone?
I think it's some of the things that we've talked about before. Like, if someone's like, you should play XYZ, and you're like, I'm glad that you enjoyed that game, but maybe I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. You know, having certain boundaries, I think, are important from that perspective. And I don't know, just being consistently welcoming, but not like overly welcoming of everybody. That's always weird when someone comes in. Well, I mean, if someone comes in, you're like, oh, hey, well, come on in, you know, but not like every time someone talks, you're like, oh my gosh, how are you? How's everything going? I hope you're doing great. You know, like sometimes
like some
it's too
people
much.
lay it on thick, like real thick, and you're like, okay, calm down. I'm just a viewer.
You don't actually care that much.
Like, I'm not the president. Calm down. Like, some people come at you real friendly, too friendly.
Yeah, so
like, that could be a thing. That could be, if you're too excited for a new viewer, right? Some people just want a viewing experience that isn't punctuated by, oh my god, hello, how are you? You know, like, some people just want a chill atmosphere, right? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you come at them too strong, they'll back off.
I'm just trying to suss out, like, the thing about this subject is that we don't have the answers. And a lot of times it's just trying to ask the right questions can help us think about this stuff. If anything that this podcast does, it should help you ask these questions. And you may not find a specific answer, like what camera should I buy, or what microphones should I use, or I only have this much money. Those things have like very direct answers. But I think not asking these questions is where a lot of streamers actually fall short. It's just about the critical thinking about your stream and trying to figure out what is. So chat's talking about atmosphere. So atmosphere can be a lot of things, right? So I think the answer to my question would be something like, as long as you're aware of your atmosphere, that you like the atmosphere you're creating, that it's intentional. And if people don't like that atmosphere, they can go. They don't have to be a viewer, right? But if they do like the atmosphere, then you know what you're doing is right. It's like that kind of thing, like the litmus test. If you don't know what your atmosphere of your stream is, this is the question you need to start with. What is that atmosphere? Because this is where viewers can become sticky, right? If a viewer shows up and they're like, "Oh, this place is so chill," that's your atmosphere, right? Oh, I really like this hanging out here. If your viewers are always talking about, "Oh, you should go play Bayonetta," like if it's just that person probably likes you, but they may not like your stream, right? Because now they're trying to like direct your stream and like send you off in a direction to change the atmosphere. So I don't know. I just think streamers we all kind of have to like approach this stuff with a thoughtful mindset. And I also think you should find streamers that you like and try to figure out the atmosphere that you enjoy about what other streamers are doing, and like try to let that stuff soak into you so that you can maybe have the similar atmosphere on your own stream. And there's a lot of thought that goes into this, like the way your camera looks. Like, do you guys think it's important, like the way you're, like right now on the podcast, you're all not just like on a, you're kind of in an atmosphere, right? You've created like an atmosphere, and you're setting. Eat Your Meats is like, probably because she's on camera, she's got her room behind her. This is just a stream room for you, right, Meats?
It's also my dog's room, but yes.
Yeah, okay.
He's arguably the reason
though.
people hang around my stream, so.
Oh, yeah,
No,
stream
listen,
room.
that's 100%. A pet cam can make or break a stream. Absolutely. Like, people will stick around for cute animals. Like, that's
True.
100%. That is a valid,
Atmosphere.
I don't want to say tactic because that sounds weird, but that is like a valid thing. If you want to like get some people to just watch you for no reason, is have a pet cam. Because some people will show up for the pets. It's just how it is. Right?
I had a pet cam when I first started streaming. That was great. I mean, if you've got
Sonny,
pets,
I want you to, like, when you stream next night, I just want that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sweater on at all times in the background.
It's just
because
too
that
warm.
Right now is
I would wear it if it was cold. But I live in California, so it's only so cold. I could open all the windows, I guess. Yeah, I have it there because, you know, it's the only like holiday thing.
Garfield's judging it looks like. But that's okay.
Garfield judges everything.
Atmosphere,
It's
right?
fine.
Atmosphere. I do this even if there's no stream. Like,
But I think what Meat said though is also super important is consistency or lack thereof. Like, so like you have to ask yourself like how do I behave, and do I behave in a consistent manner, right? Because if you don't, it can be really difficult to then pinpoint what works and what doesn't if you bring a different personality to stream every time, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, I think that's also important is like what you said, knowing your atmosphere, but also knowing who you are as a streamer, right? And I think a lot of streamers don't figure that out right away. Like when you're starting out, right? You don't exactly have a good handle on what your online persona is yet, maybe.
yeah.
But I think that's something you need to figure out sooner rather than later, right? Are you the hype streamer? Are you the skill game player? Are you the the mentor type? Are you the friend type? You know, the archetype of streamers, right? Like,
Yeah.
are you the stream uncle, as I've been dubbed, right? Like, you gotta. I think you have to figure that out sooner rather than later if you want to really succeed, because then you have like a thing to measure against, right? Then you can go like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Is it working or isn't it working, right? Whereas
Yeah.
if you're all over the place, then how do you know what is when it isn't working?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. I think your atmosphere is definitely pretty massively important to the overall set and setting of what you're trying to make, and it sends a message directly to your viewers without you saying anything. They just look at where your room, they look at your situation, and they kind of get a feel for who you are. It's a good way to kind of communicate. You know, like, even if it's like a trolley thing, like Pickles' situation. Like, tell us about your background, Pickles.
This background?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
I mean, I just took a picture of my desk and then used it as a background.
Right. So it's an actual, like, this is what it's the opposite. Is that what you're looking at, kind of?
This is exactly what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Give or take a monitor,
A mess.
an extra monitor. I just wanted it to feel. My goal was to make people feel like they're here,
Yeah.
with me. And so what better way to do that than be at my computer where I actually am. So
Yeah.
That's why I did that. And I mean, people have asked, like, or people have been shocked and confused when they found out that it's not actually real.
This is a
Like,
green
this
screen.
just a picture. Yeah.
Your arm just disappears magically, right?
Yeah, it just goes
That's
natural.
normal. Yeah.
I definitely think if you have a background, like if you're not going green screen, well, number one, if you have a green screen, it should be a good one. But if you are going background, some people really have underwhelming backgrounds or distracting, but not in a good way, backgrounds too. And I think that can really detract from, the viewer's experience. So if you can't guarantee
like
that.
this?
I streamed to a fishbowl door for like the longest time before I got a green screen.
Yeah.
It's like, a lot of those challenges can be overcome. I feel like, though, with just your overall atmosphere, you can sometimes get past having not a green screen. Hell, you can at some point you can get away with not having your camera on at all. Like,
True.
Absolutely, you could.
Yes, but if we're talking more in generality, right? We're talking about even playing field kind of stuff. I think it takes a lot of getting there. Unless you go VTuber route. VTuber is like a thing now, man.
Oh man,
They creep me out. Sorry, guys, but
Oh, it creeps you out. Oh, there you go.
creep me out, but they're popular.
what about a PNG tuber? That's
Yeah.
it's a little less uncanny valley.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things on Highly and Pickles' stream, is just that you can become a GameCube occasionally. It's great. It's just a fun thing that he does, and it's like that kind of thing can help viewers stick there, right? Because like, oh, I'm gonna stick around just to see what crazy thing he'll do next.
Yeah,
right?
like this.
That's valid. I feel like he's got snow falling on his monitors now. Like he's crazy. He's out of control.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. I never spend hours trying to figure out some dumb one-off joke.
Giant pixelated snow. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Just talking about like atmosphere and like how you want people to receive your stream. Like I try to think about streaming like we're all essentially sitting on the couch together, but like digitally, right?
So your stream is very.
We'll get to like hanging out with your friends, sitting on the couch and playing games together.
Mm-hmm.
At this point,
Yeah.
So like I continuously try to find ways that make it feel like I'm just hanging out with my friends, and I think having that around and having people just like be friends, be friendly to new people, just like being actual friends with each other is helping a lot and making people feel welcome and like they want to stay and like it would be a fun place to come back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's what I try to do. Anyway.
so a lot of
on the flip side of that, there also is game selection. If you're playing a game that clearly nobody wants to watch, right? You won't get that opportunity to have that, to express that stickiness, if you will, right? If you don't get butts and seats, as Meat said, right? So it's one of those things where like it's like a delicate balancing act. Like you see people who balance like 6 plates on sticks or whatever. It's like it's that kind of thing. And if you let any one of them stop spinning, the whole thing crashes down. It's like, yeah, you have to kind of worry about all these things at once and how they relate to each other, right?
Yeah.
And part of that is like, so for example, like if your alerts are overly long and you know that, right? Like you could fix that. Make shorter alerts, right? If you know people are bored because you have a raid video that lasts a whole minute, shorten that down maybe, or cut it out completely, right? There's a lot of things you can do.
Or don't use a raid video.
Don't use it at all. Yeah. Can you tell what side of the raid video discussion we're all on here?
That's
if it's not clear
the
yet.
second half of this podcast. We can start opening this up to the things that, let's just go to the opposite side, because this is definitely easier to talk about. But I think the first thing that we really want to impress on anybody who's streaming, just think about what does your stream say, and maybe even like ask other viewers, in private in Discord or something, like, how does my stream come off? What's the atmosphere like? If you get a bunch of different answers, you may want to try to. Well, it depends on who you ask too. It'd be best to probably ask other streamers, but if you're streaming, there's probably a handful of other streamers, and try to find somebody who is going to be kind of honest with you. It's very easy as a streamer to find a bunch of people who will just be like, "Oh, you're fine. It's fine. It sounds fine to me," right? It's like Twitch chat. So you want that person who maybe can be like, your camera's a little small. I wish I could see you better. Or things that if you didn't change it probably wouldn't like bother most people. But the thing about new viewers is they'll leave for like the most random reason, right?
Yeah.
The hardest part about growing a stream, if you're just streaming on Twitch, it's so hard to minimize every little factor that will drive away a new viewer. All new viewers, anybody who clicks on your stream, they're like probably in the most critical state right then. That's why it feels like you have to have this pressure to like hook, like every new viewer that comes in, you want them to be like, "Oh, this place is awesome. I love this place." And I think that causes a lot of streamers to make weird decisions or bad decisions with what their content looks like, or the hype energy where it's just too much hype the whole time, because you're just thinking about like hooking all new people all the time. But you really want to.
I would say.
Go ahead.
I would say even more basic than that. Pay attention to chat, because I could tell you like, if somebody comes into your stream or even if somebody's been lurking your stream for a while, right, and they chat for the first time, if you take like 3 minutes to look at chat and respond to what they're saying, I guarantee you 80% of those people will be gone by the time you respond to whatever they said.
Especially if you like respond to somebody else that you saw, like even if you just like casually
Yeah.
missed the new person saying hello, which is why I think it's so great that they have like the first time chatter thing now for like channels. Like that's really helpful for noticing people, because like if a name is like, if you got 2 names that are this long in the same color, I might miss it otherwise.
Yeah.
I have
That's
misnamed
true,
people
yeah.
many times. I'm not even gonna lie. But absolutely, if you see a first time chatter message pop up, just say, hey friend, welcome on it. And whatever is a normal greeting for you, but you absolutely want to recognize those people because they took the time. They might have been shy about it. They took the time to say something in your chat. Well, as long as it was appropriate.
Yeah.
Because most researchers just want you to become famous.
You want to buy follows?
Would you like to
first-time
buy
chatter?
some
Like,
follows?
No, I don't.
Well, I mean, some people will even come in and say hi, and that's it. But they
That's
will
it,
hang
literally, yeah.
out. Like
Yep.
they just
Mhm.
want to say hi, but they don't feel like actually talking. But you still
And also,
wanna
like, and if you do
acknowledge
miss
that.
a chat, like, don't be afraid to, like, apologize. Like, oh, hey, sorry, I missed what you said. Like, oh, hope you're having a good night. Don't act, don't try to act all cool about it, like you didn't, like you meant to miss the chat. It's like, stuff happens. Chat flies by sometimes.
So I think we did find a good answer to this question. At least one thing that helps new viewers stick.
Be attentive.
Read.
That's probably like the most basic way to phrase it. Is
Yeah.
be attentive of
Chat.
Be attentive of your stream. Be
Chat.
attentive of how you present yourself.
Yeah.
Everything.
Chat, reading
Yeah.
chat, I think is a massive one. Like, if you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
new streamer, or a low viewer streamer, doesn't matter how long you've been streaming. If you're still at under 20 viewers, and your intention for the content is to grow a stream and grow a community, man, you should not let the game or whatever you're doing soak up your whole attention. You almost want all of your attention, especially if your chat is active, to be on chat. And even when it's not, you want to try to pay attention to it. A lot of people will stare at the viewer count, I think, instead of chat. And they'll see the viewer count change, and that'll change their behavior on stream. The viewer
Turn that
count,
off.
yeah, the viewer count's not
Turn it off.
accurate. It's hard though, because there's probably some tools you can use to get rid of it on the main thing, but sometimes it just shows up in places like the activity feed on Stream Elements shows it now. It's hard to hide it everywhere. But you really, turn it off if you can. The viewer count's a liar. Like,
If you have to, put a sticky note on your screen.
yeah, that's
I've
good.
seen people do
Yeah,
that, dude. If you have to, do
Piece
it.
of electrical tape,
Yeah.
right over the number. You want to not. The thing about the viewer count is it's a total liar. It will say one thing and it will not even be close to that. There could be 6 extra viewers that you don't even know about, and it will never update and tell you that. And it could drop by half. Your viewership could drop by half and be twice as much as what it actually says. It is all over the place. The viewer count is a liar. Do not trust the viewer count.
And the viewer list
ever.
too. Like I've definitely seen there's people who are actively chatting in chat, but they never show up in the viewer list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it's weird.
it's a liar.
Weird ghost.
It's super inaccurate. Viewer count should mean literally nothing to you, especially since people, like, you can do a stream that's 3 hours long. You can have like 6 chatters, and then you look at your stats, and like 70 something people stop by, right? And you're like, what? Like, a lot of people do not chat, and the viewer count does not reflect what's actually going on. So you really don't want to you don't want to stare at the viewer count. You want to stare at chat. You want to have an active conversation, even if it's just with one person. Everybody could be watching that. And
also, kind of piggybacking on that, like, keep your cool. Like, if all of a sudden you have an influx of new chatters or a big raid drops in, like, don't suddenly behave completely differently to
That's
how
hard.
you behave normally, right?
That's
I know
hard.
it's hard. Yeah, if all of a sudden you know that you have extra 300 viewers because some big friend dropped the whole thing on you, right?
yeah, you
I know it's
try to act all
difficult, but,
stoic and cool, but that's hard for some people. Like, Shroud
also
comes
not
and
react to
raids
it.
you, and you're like,
You
So-
want to react to it because it's a gift you've been given, right? But like, don't just completely turn into, an entirely different person just because more people are watching.
yeah.
I mean, personally, that's just my
My
personal
problem
opinion.
is that I think I would act like a crazy person, like if they were there in real life anyway. So
Well, real life is different than digital life, right? Because
True.
like, no matter how many people are watching you in digital life, it's still you and a camera.
All right.
It's always you and the camera.
let's transition to the easier topic here, which is what are the things that make people go away? What are those things?
Okay, can I share the number one thing that makes me stop watching a stream?
Yes, please.
Deadpan with silence.
Silence is huge.
Oh my god. So, and there are people that I like watching some of the challenge runs. I like watching really challenging and interesting games. And I'll click on somebody and it's like 4 minutes of absolute silence. They're not even like, you can't even see facial reactions. It's just deadpan silence and just this intense face. And I get it if you're like trying to focus, but at least like animate a little bit or like say like, I'm focused, like
Did you see that tweet today too?
no. This is the thing. I've even people that like I know are good at a game. I go in and try to watch, and I'm just not someone who can just watch gameplay. I know there are some people that like they don't even care what sounds or what's going on, but like if you want an average viewer that needs like a little bit of some sort of engagement, and you aren't talking for like 30 seconds of silence is probably okay if you're in a boss fight. People can kind of understand that. But if you are like just deadpan silent for extended periods of time, all those people that have just stumbled across your stream, they're going to be like, okay, well, this is boring and leave, right?
Boring.
Unless something really cool is happening.
That's actually the
that's
key.
unlikely.
The key here is how boring it is.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so on the opposite end of this spectrum, I've had people be chatterboxes and be boring. So I think you can
Sure.
they could be really bad in both directions. You could be like deadpan silent and not just like too focused on the game and not engaged, not someone you're not open to engagement with. You know, you don't even look like you're having a good time. You're just kind of like, you know, whatever.
Like you said, like no, like if you're having to pause the game every 30 seconds because you have to vocalize every other thought that you have, or like there's a cutscene going on and you literally talk through all of it, like that turns people off because some people want you to react to what's happening on the screen.
Oh, so
That's why they're watching you play that game.
That drives me crazy. Some of you playing a game for the first time, a cutscene will come on, and they'll be like, "Oh, you know, today I was mowing the lawn, and there was this squirrel that went by, and like over the characters in the game, it's like, oh, hold on, like." This is a cutscene. This is a good time for me to tell you about the Band-Aid I almost ate.
I kid you not. The quickest I've ever left a stream, and I'm not gonna. I don't even remember their name. I'm not gonna name names. But if there's a cutscene, especially like one that you know is an important cutscene in the game that people have been hyping up, and you whip out your phone and look at your phone during that cutscene, I guarantee you,
it's a cutscene. I
there's
gotta
no faster
check my
way
Instagram.
to make me click off of a stream than someone who is literally not engaged with the game they are playing, and I've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. I've seen people literally like whip out their phone. I'm like, "Are you not entertained?"
Right.
I turned to Russell Crowe from The Gladiator. Are you not entertained?
Wow. I
And
know I've
believe
had
me,
people touch their
happens.
phones and be like, I'm sorry, like my mom is calling or something, and that's totally fine. But I've never seen anyone just be like, oh, that blows my mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Like you would think, like how if you can't find value, entertainment value in what you're doing, that you have to pick up another device to distract yourself. Why would anybody else find any entertainment in this, right?
Oh my goodness.
So true.
Well, when we're talking about things that make you leave a stream, and I want to circle back to the raid response videos again, just because I mean we mentioned it in an older podcast, but like there are people who think like I should have a raid response video because it's got like good clips and I want people to know blah blah blah. Making one is not wasted effort, but put it as a BRB screen, because as a BRB screen, those are the like stickiest BRB screens that you could have, because they are clips. It's still like you on the screen, and you're still entertaining people, new people even, when you are not there. But as a raid response video, you are there. You should be doing that live yourself. Imagine. But, like,
imagine the streamer being live.
yeah. But like for real, if you want a sticky BRB screen, because people will leave during BRB screens to go
time.
like watch something else or do anything, or they might forget to even come back and whatever. People leave during BRB screens all the time. That's a way to keep them.
Yep.
That's a sticky way to keep them. Absolutely. Just don't use it as raid response.
One of the other things. Oh, go ahead.
What somebody, what chat is talking about, like, yeah, if you have literally alerts that are so frequent that there's no time on screen when there isn't an alert up. That's also a thing that drives people off. It's like some people actually want to see what's going on, right? Goes back to like there is a video game in theory or something else going on
Mhm.
aside from just you, right? And if your alerts cover that the whole time,
Yeah.
like people are just gonna get tired of it. Like
Yeah.
that's why here's another thing that for me personally, and I know a couple other people that probably this is true for. Please, I implore you as one streamer to another, set up a thing where like if you get 5 or 10 subs at a time, that it plays one alert
Yeah.
and not the same alert 10 times.
Yeah,
I
need to do
promise
that.
you, nobody wants that. Like one alert is fine, please.
Or people triggering like the Wilhelm screen every 10 seconds
Yeah.
for like 30 minutes straight. It's funny for
Yeah,
like
please put
the
a
first
cooldown on your
3.
commands,
Yeah. The alerts thing it's just like almost its own topic, like how to use them well. I the tendency is to want to do too much. I think you can do like if you're just having a chatting session and the alerts aren't going to cover gameplay and your stuff's not going to be kind of like in the middle and in the way. Then you can have all kinds of crazy stuff going on during that. But if you're playing a game and there's cutscenes and it's story driven or competitive even, people are trying to watch you play the game, and if you've just got the same alerts coming up over and over and over, covering everything up and getting in the way, you're kind of making the alerts like too primary. You may want to have 2 sets of alerts, like more subtle ones for the game scene, and like then the crazy fun ones that are, for when you're chatting or something, and it's less important. Or if you do something that's not, it's not like critical that it's going to interrupt. If it's interruptible, then maybe you could have more those crazy alerts for that kind of content. You just want to kind of think about what you're doing and the viewer experience. Otherwise, you're going to send people off, man.
And it's okay, like if you're at a let's say video game, right? If you're at a super engaging part of the game, it's okay to like let that go through and then pause and be like, oh, let me catch up with chat.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody's gonna be angry at you if you're catching up with chat because there was something going on screen. Obviously, like most people understand, like your attention isn't solely on chat. Yes, you're paying attention to chat, but you obviously have another thing that's going on, either the game or whatever else you might be doing, right?
Yeah.
So like most rational people will understand that you're not just staring at chat the whole time, right?
Yeah. Pause your alerts, turn them off.
Yeah.
And then after the cutscene, bring them back. Set up a hotkey to get rid of your. If you put all your alerts in like a foreground scene, you turn that off.
Yeah, turn them off. Silence them for.
So.
Well, like I have a lot of free alerts that people can just trigger with phrases in chat, but I very intentionally made sure that none of them last more than like 2 seconds.
Right.
Because
and they're on cooldowns.
I don't want them to and there are cooldowns and stuff. Like I just don't want those I want them to be there because I think they're funny and they make me laugh and they make other people laugh. So I like having them, but I very, very purposefully only have them for like a couple seconds. So they're like in, do the joke, out. And then I have bit alerts. Some of the bit alerts are like a little longer, obviously, but like just I try to have everything. I try to be very economic with the jokes that the alerts tell, so that they do what they need to do and then get out, so that we can keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want them to be overly distracting, but I want them there. You know.
Personal experience, I can tell you that's exactly it. I have one thing that'll play a line from Subnautica that says, are you sure what you're doing is worth it? And every time I'll just reply, no, I'm not sure of anything, and move on. That's the joke, right? That's the bit. I don't dwell on it. There's a cooldown, so you can't do it like every 2 minutes. But like, yeah, it's fun to have these sort of, they're almost like rituals in a way, right? You have these things that are going to happen all the time, but you can control when, or at least how often they'll happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that, if it's happening too much, like, yeah, people just get tired of the joke. When you've heard a joke 6 times, right, in the span of a minute, it's like, you're tired of the joke at that point. So,
yeah.
Well, we're speaking about things that cause people to leave streams. Someone from chat brought up that like they will leave streams when a streamer goes on talking about the business side of their stream, like all the details. And like as a viewer, you're now in a business meeting you weren't looking for. They don't think it's entertaining. A little bit of inclusion in the community and
For
goals
sure,
is
for
different. But they were like to that point, like, yeah, people don't like talking about money ever. Pretty much. Like unless everybody's getting money in that moment, people don't like talking about money. So like, and it's true, like when you start talking about things in such clinical terms, like right now we're intentionally doing it because this is the platform for doing that. But when you're just casually watching a stream and then you start breaking down like all these like robotic sounding terms and start talking about people as if they're numbers and the gains monetarily you get from that and stuff like that, like people by and large don't want to hear that. That's something that will for sure cause people to leave.
Well, if you're doing that on stream, you probably should find like someone to work with on your stream off stream. Like go maybe you have a need and a desire to like do this
Well, like
stuff.
I've seen it happen. Like somebody will just ask like a kind of benign question about streaming overall, and then that kind of snowballs into this big long business talk. And then you have like 90% of the other people that are there not interested in that.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah,
Just
your,
like-
your worst enemy is other streamers who be like, "Hey, what do you think about X?" And you're like, "Not the time, but okay."
Yeah, if you want something like that, I have a stream for that on Fridays on this channel. There is a stream for you to come and talk about streaming. Like if you want a place for that, IQ is a good community to do that
You
with.
gotta verbally judo them into a different stream.
But don't
It's like,
use
yeah,
your
just,
own stream, right? Like, what were you saying, Meats?
I think just like to the chat's comments, it's just like kind of long, unrelated, tangential stuff, right? Unless that's like one of your shticks. I think just avoiding that in general, honestly, like kind of set yourself a timer. Like if someone brings up like something that you're passionate about, you know.
All right, you
like-
get 3 minutes. Go.
yeah, like the
Well,
metric system.
yeah.
I don't know. It's like we're gonna have these a very brief comment about it, but like if you're streaming, you know, Bayonetta, and people are coming to watch you play Bayonetta. Like
Yeah.
people are stumbling in. They don't want to sit there and you talk about the benefits of the metric system for 5 minutes when they're like, I wanted to see Bayonetta. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Unless
They're
you're
just-
somehow like, "Oh, Bayonetta's
Community-
2 meters tall," like
I think what you can do is turn that stuff into community rewards or like and a challenge for yourself, right? So like if a streamer has like a redemption, it's like say pi to the largest decimal place that you can possibly remember, and then you like now you have to like do it as quickly as possible and get it out. It's like a challenge for yourself. That could be entertaining. Like you can, if you have things that you're passionate about, try to turn them into things that
I mean, for me, that would literally stop at 1.14. I don't know.
yeah,
the rest.
3.14. That's it.
That's it, we're done.
We're done.
Well, I mean, like I think
Three.
there's a place. I think there's a place for tangents. Like
Yeah.
if chat is quiet and you just let your brain go, and it goes, like I think that's fine. But if people are trying to talk to you and you ignore them to tangent, like that's a
Yeah.
bad sign.
And I would
Because
rather
that just circles back to talking, like paying attention to chat.
yeah, and I would much rather you tangent when chat isn't active than try to just do like weird canned like gaming responses. That's what I was trying to say when we first started this section was like you got people that are deadpan and not saying anything like Meats said, or you got people that are just they're talking like crazy but they're talking about nothing. Like it's like just reactions to the game and the game is boring. So they're like running around and they're lost in the game. They don't know which direction to go and they're like, "Do I go this way? Oh, do I go that way? Oh, I think I need to wait. I think it's just like kind of thinking out loud about nothing." And this goes on for 5 minutes. No one said anything in the chat. I'd much rather you go on a tangent about like, seed
let me
oils
clarify.
or something. Okay.
Yeah, let me clarify. I'm talking about like you cut your gameplay and you pulled this yourself up and you're just tangent. I think that I go on. I think most of us go on tangents about something we're passionate about, but we're still like engaging in gameplay. And I think there's a difference there too.
Yeah.
You have to stop the ride to talk about what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah. if you
Definitely
were
have a
stopping the
timer.
stream and
Yeah,
is
like,
like,
don't
yo,
do it
let me
forever.
tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's incredibly confrontational.
Yeah, it's
But
Even
people
if it's
do it all
about
the
nothing,
time.
they
grabbing
do.
somebody
All the
by the
time.
lapels, and it's like, let me tell you a thing.
Yeah.
And I think also to kind of piggyback off of that, it's the other thing is like, oh my god, I've seen this happen too. If how to phrase this? Okay, so like pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, right? Don't show too much of the inner workings, right? And that we talked about, like, don't talk about money too much because nobody wants to hear it. Don't talk about view numbers because
Ugh.
viewers don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Viewers don't want to hear like, oh, we're up to 60. Nobody cares. Like,
Oh,
only
that's the
streamers
worst.
care.
Never
That
do
is the
that.
worst.
I've
If you're a
seen-
community
I've
member,
seen-
don't
If
do
you
that to
rated
the
it, and
streamer.
then, like you're fixated on how many raters there were. Like, oh, but the view count only says 5, and I'm like, please stop.
I've seen
Please
like
just move
well-meaning
on.
mods call out view count and be like, "Come on, guys."
I've never
The
seen.
streamer's up."
I've never ever seen when the view count jumps up to a big number, and then someone calls it out. I've never seen that that become their new baseline. Like it's not like, oh, we're finally at 69 viewers. We made it.
Well, that's okay.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
the only time it's
69,
okay.
69,
Nice.
420 viewers. Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
No, like, okay, oh, there's just so many people here. Things like that can be like kind of benign and okay. Especially if you're on the front page of Twitch or something and there's like an obvious reason for it.
And also, like don't focus on it if a viewer does do that, because there'll be no shortage of people going, oh, did I miss a big raid? And you're like, please shut up. Like, stop. Like, most viewers don't care about the view number, right? They care
Yeah.
about you. They care about the game. Like, a viewer doesn't get anything by, he can't, like, a viewer can't go to somebody else and brag, like, well, I was watching a stream that had 10,000 viewers in it. I was watching that. I was one of those
Weird flex.
10,000. It's like, nobody cares.
Yeah, I get really uncomfortable when somebody like calls out chat or calls out the number, or the raid, or anything.
Oh.
So like,
Chat seems really dead.
Man.
oh yeah, I hate that.
Where is
I hate
everyone
that.
today?
That'll make me leave. Even if I'm lurking and they're like, "Chat's dead," I'll leave. Like I won't even lurk on that anymore.
And then we wonder why streamers are burnt out and depressed or like having anxiety attacks. Because people come and chat and they're like, what's going on?
And you have to be ready though, because like there will be people who will do that, right? Who will come in and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's really lively in here today." I'm like, okay, please stop."
Okay,
Yeah.
but lively is better than calling out a specific number, though. Because saying
Yeah,
lively
It's
can
really
mean
better, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
it can mean that just like the people who are around are just like being happy, being
True.
joyous. But
True.
I mean, because I've literally seen people be like, "Oh yeah, there's 100 people in here. Why is nobody chatting?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, please!"
Because they're all
no."
just
No.
enjoying watching this stream.
Yeah.
And there are times where that's just the mood that people have.
Yeah.
I've had people say that, and I had to respond with like, they're just hanging out, they're just lurking, enjoying themselves, and that's perfectly fine.
Oh,
Yep.
and
speaking
then I
of
moved
which,
on.
if I'm lurking in your stream and you or a mod pulls up the list and calls me out, oh.
Don't do
That's
that.
a hard one.
A few things more disorienting or less disorienting than being called out when you're not expecting it. Please
Yeah.
don't.
That's a tough one. Yeah. Don't go into the viewer list and call out lurkers.
You
Unless
may not even be there
unless-
anymore, too.
Unless you're
Yeah.
trying to trigger that person on purpose.
And then it's somebody you know, right? Like, it has
Or
to
it's
be
somebody
someone
you know, but you don't like
Then
them
I
very
think you're
much.
risking somebody like who isn't in on the joke being like, "Wow, this guy calls out his viewers. Like, what is? I don't want to stick around. I might be next. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would not. I would. There's very
Yeah.
few instances where I would be like, I need to see if somebody's in chat. Like, ugh.
Like, well, one time when I was trying to get my 50 sub mark to get my last emote slot open, like we were really close, so I decided to gift a sub to the Great Skeleton Man because I knew he was lurking. He hadn't said anything in chat. He quietly just like slid in and was lurking. So I dropped a sub on him just to call him out because I thought it would be fun. But we're friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's different. Like,
That's
if
also,
you know
like-
it's cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like somebody from the outside won't necessarily think that you're doing that on purpose. This to be like, oh, he gifted somebody he saw in chat, or like there's ways to. I hate to say this. There's ways to call out people and not make it cringy. That's basically what it is, right? But like if you're going through and or like you or a mod or something is like purposely calling out everybody who comes in because you wanna greet them, it's cringy. It's people don't like it. Like some people just do not. There are people who will literally, I promise you, there are people who will wait till you go offline to follow you because they are afraid of triggering an alert that'll say their name, right?
Mhm.
Like don't add more stress to those people's lives.
Yeah.
Or I'll just have someone kind of really, really quiet in the background just because I'm kind of watching the gameplay and doing other things, and like I feel bad if someone talks to me and I'm not listening. Like I'm
Yeah.
there, but I'm not really paying attention to what you're
Like I
saying.
said,
I'm
it's
just watching.
jarring when you hear your name and
Then
like you're like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah, then you feel like a jerk. You're like, huh?
You
What is-
feel
I don't know
obligated to
what's
respond, and you have to drop what you're doing to like tab over and.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my number one thing that makes me leave a stream is, and this kind of ties in, it's like an expansion on the first thing that was brought up, which was, you're not talking or you're talking too much. In that same realm is audio itself. What the stream sounds like is the first thing that will make me leave. If your microphone sounds bad, if I can hear your keyboard clicking like crazy because of the game you're playing, or even your controller, if I hear your gamepad and it is super loud, like I have good speakers in my setup, and it's gonna annoy me immediately. I can't watch streams with bad audio. I can forgive bad video, but if your mic's too loud or too quiet, if I say something to you about, hey, your mic's too quiet, you might want to listen. Sometimes there's streamers who will, they need that kind of advice and they need that kind of feedback. It's always a good idea. It's never helpful when somebody says that in chat and you or say it sounds fine to me. That you kind of want to allow the streamer to kind of get a scope of because maybe it does sound fine to you, but it doesn't sound fine to everybody else because maybe you're listening on your cell phone and it's one speaker. The entire stereo mix is coming out of one speaker and it sounds completely different.
Or you have you have headphones in and somebody else is listening to you on a TV, or
right.
Like there's a myriad of things that could be at
right.
play, right?
So
additionally, and someone mentioned this in chat, if you cannot eat or drink something quietly, don't do it while you're streaming.
yeah. I try to turn my mic down just to open this bottle. Like
every time I've tried to like eat something on stream, I've choked, so I just don't do it.
Yeah, I
refuse
typically, unless it's for like a meme thing, like eating jelly beans or something, I don't either.
ASMR?
I do drink, but I usually try to do a straw or like something that's fairly easy to drink. Because unless I'm being funny, right? I'm like,
yeah, ASMR.
just to be like silly. But yeah, chewing is such a trigger for people.
If I was 100% sure that Highland Pickles was the only person watching me stream, I would 100% just smack.
Chew some
Just
gum.
'cause I know it
Get some
triggers
gum
him
going.
so
It's because Snazzy knows that I hate the sound of chewing
hates
so
it.
much that I can't listen to myself chew. So, like, Snazzy would bug me with it. Like, Jared especially goes out of his way. He's like, I know Ty is here. Let me get right up on the mic and chew this as loud as possible. Like,
The thing is, you're not alone though. Like I feel like a large percentage of
common thing,
viewers
yeah.
hate when somebody's like just chewing with their, with the loudest possible chew they could have, closest to the mic. It's like, if I wanted that, I would have gone to an ASMR stream. unless you're doing, unless you're doing ASMR, right?
Yeah. That's what I
Unless
said.
you're
Unless
doing
it's
that.
like intentionally, like the point is you're eating something and like that's the focus. Okay.
Yeah.
But like if you're like just chomping on something, I don't know. It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Or you drop a sick burn about the game and then you like slurp an empty cup because
See
it's a
that?
funny
But
noise.
yes,
It's like-
that's funny too.
The point here is that audio is probably the most important thing, and if you can get your audio good, you're going to help a lot of people stick to your stream.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to
I
send.
think audio is like very subconsciously important. Like people don't know why that they're gonna click off a stream, but the answer is audio a lot of the times.
Yeah, because
the first bite might be with the eyes, but like the next 6 are with the ears. So
Yeah. Yeah, true. You're gonna have people are coming from one stream, and that streamer's got like perfect audio set up and it's not crazy, and then they come to your stream and your microphone's way too far away and it can hear your keyboard like this, and it's just like, okay, I don't know, I'm gonna click let's go watch.
And also
else.
that kind of also goes into like just this completely off a slight tangent, I should say, but like when you're rating, you also like you should really be cognizant of like who you're rating, because sometimes like if you rate somebody who's like completely different than you are, like that could potentially also turn people off and be like, oh, where did this guy take me, right? If you know that people watch you for a very specific quality, like if you're super chill and that's what people watch you for, maybe don't rate somebody who's the hype train.
This is a hard one.
Out,
This is actually.
Yeah, I think I'm actually guilty of that sometimes.
We all are.
Yeah.
It's very hard
all the time. It's like it just be cognizant of like how often you do that. And like
this is
and
a confusing
what the circumstances are.
This is a tough one because I think there's actually room for, let's say, a family friendly streamer to go hang out with like a crude streamer, and there's can be some crossover that can happen between those two streamers. Rating them though is where it's like a difficult decision, because now you're sending your entire community there. If like you're going to join like a podcast with somebody and it's not your typical content and that streamer is very crude, maybe don't tell your community you're doing it. But it's still a good idea for you, the streamer, to go get in front of that person's audience and get that exposure. Go be on their stream and be on their situation. So it's definitely a good idea to try to figure out where the people you're working with kind of sit with what you're doing. So
I think just warn if you know that that's the case. Usually I'll say something, or like I'll just kind of give a quick like, this is the person. They're a little bit more sassy than me, sort of thing.
Or, this person's playing something completely different, but they're fun. Let's go watch. Like there's ways to couch stuff you're doing, right?
Yeah. And is there any other big ones, turn-offs for you guys for watching streams? That like what's a number? What's a really? I'm trying to think if there's anything we missed that's really important. For
I would say the other thing that I would say that turns me off personally, and I don't know how prevalent this is with other viewers, but like as a viewer, if something is going wrong, right, and at some point I just want you to like just roll with it, and if you're just stuck on like harping about what's wrong, I'll eventually just be like, well, okay, this stream's not going anywhere. We're just gonna be talking about what's wrong for the next hour, right? Like
reacting to a troll.
Yeah, like reacting to a troll. Yes, if you have to stop to yell at a troll for 15 minutes, that's 15 minutes where every minute of it I'm like, do I bail out now? Is he gonna go back to the game? Like every opportunity you give somebody to walk away, they might take it and walk away.
They will. That's the problem. It's like I'm a viewer a lot of times. A lot of what my experience on Twitch is watching people's streams, and man, the amount of times I'm like ready to mute and walk away, it's very often. And you don't want to put new viewers in that situation. First impressions are important. They're not so important that you need to be like to go out of your way to like try to be super impressive. You don't want to overdo it. But you do want to kind of keep it's back to the atmosphere. The atmosphere is so important. You want people to be able to latch onto your stream and figure out that if they fit in with your community and like want to hang out and stuff. So this is, I'm audio for me is like number one. You could have like the worst. I mean, the second. I would say it's still pretty important to have like your stream look watchable. Especially if you're playing a game. Like if you're streaming at 1080p 60 at 3000 kilobits per second, and you're playing some kind of first-person shooter or something, not Stardew Valley, your stream is just super potato the whole time, and I can't watch that. It's just a bunch of pixels. It's a pixel soup. So dialing in your stream encoder. The thing about this stuff is like this is well understood. All you have to do is get good settings, dial in good settings. Don't prioritize your frame rate or your resolution. Prioritize picture quality. As long as your picture quality is good, I don't care if you're streaming at 480p. I played 240p games on the Super Nintendo. these games don't look bad. Okay, your stream.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There'll be some people who will be like, "Oh, I'm playing this in 60 FPS," and I'll be like, "My potato eyes don't see a difference between this and 30."
As a viewer, viewers don't need more than 48 frames per second. I think you can give people headaches. You can make people uncomfortable with high frame rates if they're not in control of the game. I think there's a lot to be said about what a viewer needs to enjoy your stream is totally different from what you, the gamer, need to play the game. 60 frames per second is great for the gamer, but for somebody who, you want to be able to have your stream enjoyable by people who have migraines. And 60 frames per second is a lot for people's brains to take in when they're not in control of the game.
I think someone...
Go ahead.
Someone in chat brought up, and this is a big thing to me because I watch a lot of Twitch on mobile, is quality options. If you're able to get quality options, that can adjust a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah.
And I know plenty of people that actually will like stop in and be like, "Oh, you don't have quality today. I can't hang out," or they may leave a stream because they either get to watch a slideshow or just listen to the audio. So I think if you're able to get quality options, and you can if you're an affiliate, sometimes it takes turning the stream off and on, but knock on wood, lately I haven't had any issues getting quality options.
Yeah. The more you stream, I think and depending on the server you're connecting to, it can be, it's very different. It's like, depending on where you're streaming from too, and what server you're connected to, they'll take different bit rates higher than 6,000. So you have to do some experimenting, but honestly, like, just get your stream quality to look good. Go look at your VODs, right? If you want to figure out the quickest, let's end the podcast with this. The quickest way to figure out how your stream is doing is to go watch your own stream. Are you tuning out to your own content? Do you think your stream sounds good? When I produce music, and when I record a song, I don't just listen to it in the digital audio workstation and then think it's good. I export it and then I send it to my computer and I listen to it on different computer speakers. I send it to my phone and I listen to it on my phone. I listen to it on Bluetooth speakers. I listen to it on studio monitors. I listen to it in in-ear monitors. If you are producing something that has audio, you need to go and figure out, is my stream too loud on mobile devices? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that people can turn it down, because you can't turn up a stream on your phone. If your stream is too quiet at max volume on your phone, then viewers are not going to stick around on their phone because they can't hear your stream. You want people to have to turn your stream down, not up. They can't turn your stream up anymore on their phone. There's no way to do that. So be your own critic. Go listen to your stream on your phone. Check it with earphones. Check it with your speakers. And then also watch yourself. How are you coming across on stream? Is my camera angle good? Does this camera angle make me seem awkward? Are people staring at my armpits and not my, is it all room and no me? Am I just a head? Whatever it is, you need to try to look at what's going on. Can people see my eyes? This is a really important one. If you have a camera and people can't see your eyes, then
what's the point?
Yeah, yeah. They need to be able to see your eyes. Check on the phone. Can they see my eyes? Watch your stream and try to see if you enjoy.
If the glare from your lights is causing the green screen effect in your eyes because you wear glasses.
That,
holy crap!
Or you have a green hue, or your hair is green, or your head is green.
Unless you're doing a bit, unless you're wearing green to make yourself a disembodied head, right?
Yeah.
Maybe think about what you're wearing.
Yeah.
On stream even.
Yeah. Yes.
For sure.
Here's one thing before we fully sign off. One thing that'll make me definitely click off a stream.
Who is that? Is that me? Oh, there's.
Not me.
It's like.
You're right.
That's you.
There's an emergency somewhere.
I feel like a lot of streamers feel like they need to play rage-inducing games because it's funny. That's not true. You
It's
don't
hard.
need to.
It's hard for me to watch people get upset on stream.
Well, because there's a difference between being like funny mad and being actually mad.
Good,
Yeah.
bad
Some
versus
people
bad,
don't know the difference. Because, like, sure, I'll play a frustrating game on stream, but I'll never like get so mad that I'll take it out on the people watching. Because I have been there when that has happened, and it actually made me unfollow that person for good. Like, I don't think I'll ever go back to that stream
Yeah.
because like,
It's
they
awkward.
got
Like, yeah.
well, they got bad mad, and then they like freaked out on people in their chat, and it was
Yeah.
really uncomfortable. So like, you know,
Yeah.
If you're freaking out, you know, at your chat in general,
yeah,
well, I'm part of that chat, so I feel like some of that's being directed towards me. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
yeah.
thing
But,
is,
like,
people are a lot
if
more
you're gonna-
emotional than everybody realizes. I think.
yeah, like you don't need to play Bennett Foddy, you don't need to play Jump King, you don't need to play Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls is a big trap.
No,
you
you
don't
do.
need to play it.
Stop it. You
Needs to play it because she knows. Like she's
I'm
never
a patient.
gonna get.
I am like, I've been lauded for my patience because I am
Yeah.
not good, but I am in general a very patient person. So
Well,
it's actually kind of funny when I get irritated. 'cause
This
it's-
doesn't have
it's
to be
cute.
Frustrating.
I'm patient with the game, but I've been in the past. I've been impatient with viewers, with those people that would trigger you, and then you don't want to be. I've made the mistake of a viewer that was annoying habitually, and pushing the boundaries and not saying much about it until it was like almost too late.
Habitual line
be-
stepper.
be- there's a difference between you don't want to be so you can only be patient so long with people sometimes. So you might want to try and like communicate early while you're still calm that they need to stop. Waiting.
Well,
This boss is easy. I don't know why you can't do it.
Yeah, not even that. Like for me, it's more like somebody will come in and like they're just like complaining all the time. They're always complaining, and you're just like, oh, I'm sorry, that's okay. I hope everything's get better. And then the next time you see them, it's the same thing. And then like a month of this goes on, you're like, okay, dude, all you do is complain. Stop being, you don't want to.
Some people like to hate watch. It's a thing, man.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I'll get frustrated at the game, but if I start turning it towards the people watching, like I feel like we're in this together.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if they're like,
Ride
even if
the
they're like
struggle bus
poking
with me.
fun and they're like, maybe just don't suck. I'll be like, you know what? I'll try better next time.
just
But I'll
get
never
good-
be
yeah.
mad.
Good
At
advice.
I'll never be mad at that person because like it's supposed to be fun. I'll get mad at the game all
Yeah.
day because that's funnier.
having good
And
mods helps.
It's easier to.
It's not always possible to have good mods, though.
Yep.
You
Sometimes mods aren't around. Yeah.
sometimes mods aren't around. Sometimes you're a single dude like me streaming from a bedroom, and you don't have a significant other that can step in and like protect your chat. It's just you. You're all by your lonesome.
And sometimes your significant other doesn't want that responsibility.
True. Yeah.
Also.
So if you don't have that, mods can help. But honestly, the streamer, need to be able to deal with this. This is streaming is just a weird thing. It's like a weird psychological experiment we're all putting ourselves through and trying to figure out what does streaming do to the person. And sometimes it makes us rage. So if you have raged on stream before, forgive yourself and figure out a way to fix it. But know that these things are things that turn off.
Never.
If you get hyper aggressive about Stardew Valley, maybe rethink your approach.
Yeah.
Never feel obligated to play a game because that's what streamers do. Like Dark Souls. Streamers play Dark Souls.
No,
Like,
you have to play Bayonetta.
Don't.
No.
I know Sonny says it all the time, but you actually don't have to. You know.
No, you don't. But if you like games, Bayonetta is a good one.
I personally love playing Dark Souls. Like, honestly, I do. I should actually probably play some other ones too, but I've been obsessively playing it. So, just play what you love that also is doing well for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
You want to enjoy. If you can't enjoy the game, enjoy the stream. If you can't enjoy either, then stop.
Yeah.
Just don't stream that day.
Yeah,
or something.
maybe you have to rethink your approach.
To sum all of this up, the best tool you have for figuring all this stuff out is your own perspective. and watching your stream, figuring it all out, listening to your stream, watching it, seeing if you can't watch your own stream, why do you expect other people to? This is the same thing with the soundboard, right? People are like, I don't want to hear my own voice. And I'm like, if you can't hear your own voice, why do you expect anyone else to listen to it?
And also, I think we touched on this before, like, but if you're like, if you don't yourself watch streams, if you're not a watcher of streams, like, then how do you get a good gauge of what a good stream is, right? Because if somebody tells me, "Hey, I don't watch any streams," I'm like, then why are you streaming?
Go listen. Yeah, go watch somebody who has a good setup and enjoy their stream. Pause their stream. Go back to your VOD. Listen to your stream and be like, "Oh, my stream is really quiet at this same volume." That's an issue. That their stream I can hear perfectly right now, but mine is super quiet. Or, wow, my mic is really distorted. Something is off here. That they sound good, I sound bad. How do I fix this?
Or even more abstractly, it's like, oh, like, I talked about X again for like the 10th time that night. Like, maybe I need some other conversational topics. You know?
Yeah, streaming too long. Am I streaming too long? That's a huge one.
That's
Yeah. You could, the temptation is like, oh, I'm gonna stream for like six hours.
If you look like you're falling asleep at the end of the stream, I guarantee you, your viewers are probably doing the same.
Yeah, I don't know how people can watch a stream for 6 hours. That's a long time to watch one thing. I can barely get through like 3 Korean episodes of anything, and that's like just about 3 hours, a little bit
I think
more.
they're usually doing other things, though. That's the thing, is like a lot of people that'll be in stream for 5 or 6 hours, they're doing other things.
Working.
Yeah, it's all background. Yep.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
background. You are background. Yeah. So
Be a good, entertaining background that's going to
Yeah.
make them want to pop back in and see what's going on.
it's actually a good advice here. Is like, put your stream on and leave it on and go do something else and see if your stream is something you can kind of pay attention to while you're doing something else. If you can like if your stream can feel like a podcast almost, and glancing at it once in a while when something funny is happening works, then maybe you have something that other people will enjoy watching. But your best tool here is you. Don't just keep turning your stream on and expecting it to be something that people watch. Figure out if what you're doing is working. Atmosphere, good audio, good video, and try not to do things in practice that make viewers leave. So, do we have any summary thoughts here? Do you guys want to? Any final?
My final thought would be, if you can't enjoy, like, look at your stream and be like, if it was somebody else on screen, would I enjoy what I'm seeing? And if the answer is no, then you can hardly expect anybody else to enjoy what they're seeing.
Yep, it's good.
Yes.
Pickles?
A summary for all of this?
Well, any final thoughts? Anything else we missed? We got to wrap this up. This is the longest episode we've done, so.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah, come back to me.
Okay, all right.
Oh, no.
Eat your meats.
Yeah.
We started this section with the thing that drives you away. What's the thing that you think like brings you and keeps you there?
Feeling welcomed. I think, I don't know, just maybe I'm just such a sunshine rainbows person. But like if people feel like that you want them there and that you're happy that they're there, but you're also providing entertainment, that's a tough balance to create. But I think that's what's going to foster the best community and the community that stays with you.
Yeah. All right.
Be nice to people.
Should we just wrap up, Pickles, or you got something for us?
No. So I think people try. One thing that makes me leave is when people try too hard to put on a show that it comes off as inauthentic. I think the thing that will help you be most consistent and will help provide a very, authentic atmosphere in your stream is just be authentic. It takes very little amount of effort and is very consistent to do so, and it's something that you can keep up forever. right?
Yeah,
Because
it's
like
true.
if you have a shtick, and like one of these days you're not gonna want to do that shtick, and it's gonna feel like a different place.
Mm-hmm.
So just be authentic, be welcoming, be nice. Give people the benefit of the doubt, because people who want to backseat you in a game, most of the time, just really love the game, right? They have the best of intentions. Most people just have the best of intentions. They're trying to find a place to sit down and kick up their feet and hang out. So just
True.
try to have patience. Give them the benefit of the doubt when you can,
True.
and just have fun. Have fun.
Have fun.
Enjoy yourself.
Have fun, everyone. That's
Good luck. Have fun. Yeah.
And people love dogs.
Yeah.
They love animals. Animals
People
in
do
general.
love dogs.
It's
If you
also
have a pet, get that little
pet on
on
stream.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say something
Yeah.
else, but yeah,
Yeah.
get that little
Get
terrorist
that.
on camera.
Little rascal.
If you have a pet that's really comfortable just being chill and hanging out, it's a good thing. But don't also be that person that like forces your animal to be
Yeah,
part of
yeah,
it,
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
that's
True.
awkward.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
So, don't force
Yeah.
it. But if
True.
you have a
point
cloud,
the camera at their bed so that they can just be themselves and sleeping all
Mhm.
day. People watch that.
Mhm.
people love watching animals sleep. It's yeah, it's great.
And do we want viewers that don't like animals? I mean, let's be honest.
No, I don't. Nope.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. That was hopefully this was insightful. Really, we just want you, if you're listening to this, watching this on YouTube, we really want you to improve your stream and figure out ways to think about what you're doing. So hopefully this podcast, this content was helpful, and you can just maybe have some extra ways, extra tools, extra things to think about. Just think about your stream. I think a lot of streamers just turn their stream on, and it's so overwhelming to just, get a mic and get a camera and get OBS working, that getting the refinement of having a good stream that people actually do want to watch, it doesn't get approached, and they just keep streaming. You just keep streaming. And it's very easy to think it's working when you get one follower every couple of streams, and maybe it's actually not working, and it's hard to tell with such a small group. There's a tendency for streamers to have 3 to 5 viewers and say my community, and you don't have much of a community if you've got 5 viewers. Or 10 viewers even. It's not a lot. If you're making decisions about your stream with such a small viewership, maybe stay away from things like my community. And just start thinking about you and what you want your stream to look like, and how to improve it. So that's the episode, and we'll be back next week, I believe. Are we doing this next week, everyone? I think we're doing this next week.
Pretty sure we are.
Yeah.
Is
So
next week, the 29th? Yeah.
next week we'll be back next week. And I hope everybody has a good holiday season, and we're almost in the new year. So if anybody has any suggestions for topics, things that they would like us to cover, just tweet at Infinite Quality, or tweet at the Sunny Machine. Really, if you just tweet at me. I post on Wednesdays when we go before we go live, what we're going to be talking about, and open it up. Just respond to the tweet if you guys have any questions or any suggestions for that episode. If you guys want to support this, go to infinitequality.live and click on the support page. Follow us on YouTube and Twitch and all those places if you want to join us and join the chat. While we do this, we do it live on Twitch, Infinite Quality Live. You can find everything at infinitequality.live. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
You can still say
Dingle
it.
your
Please
bell,
hit the
be
like
part of the
button and
notification
subscribe.
squad.
Yes.
Yeah, hit that bell.
Like
Now, if you
and
excuse me,
subscribe.
aggressively farm Stardew Valley.